4 easy, straightforward tips on how to boost your testosterone after the age of 60. Hey guys, Mark McKillier with Live Anabolic, and today I'm going to give you some real simple tips on how to boost your testosterone, even for us guys over 60. All right, I'm 61, guys, so I need to think of and use every single trick in the book. I'm constantly reading and looking at studies and all that kind of stuff, and some of the ways are pretty esoteric. Some of them just are way too difficult, too time-consuming, too hard from a nutritional level. But that's why I like to just stick with the simple stuff that works, because if it's simple and straightforward, you guys are much more likely to do it. So before I get to those things, just why is testosterone important? Well, a lot of you guys already know that your T levels drop as we get older. I mean, they max out in your 20s and they kind of stay nice and high all the way to around the age of 30. And then they start slowly dropping over the years. And I mean slowly, typically 1 to 2% per year. So that's not much. And you don't notice it, when you're 40, but when you're 50, 60, 61 like me, just do the math, all right? You can subtract 1 to 2% times the number of years I'm past 30. Dude, I could be 30 to 60% lower than when I was in my prime. So I need to kind of do all these tricks and tips at the same time too. I mean, I'm not immune to that natural decline in our T levels. All right, so your testosterone is super important because it helps you build muscle. It's super important because it's key for your libido, your sex drive. It's also really important for your energy level and your mental focus, your mental acuity. It's important for your self-confidence. And guys, it's important for losing fat. Most men don't realize that. They always think of testosterone like a steroid, to build muscle, but it also really helps your body metabolize fat much more efficiently, all right? And so if you have high T levels, you're much more likely to have low body fat. So those are all the reasons why we really want as much testosterone flowing through our body, naturally produced by our body, as we possibly can. First tip, guys, resistance training. You have to do resistance training. You can do all this stuff from home. You don't have to have a gym membership, all right? You can have resistance bands. You can have dumbbells at home. You can even use your own body weight, all right? So I'm just going to give you a few exercises, but mainly it is about stressing your muscular system and putting not just baby weights, all right? Not just doing curls. That's an isolation movement, all right? I want you guys to try to focus on doing big compound movements. And a compound movement means you're using multiple muscle groups and multiple joints at the same time. All right, so the reason that's important is because you're engaging more muscle mass, and that sends signals to your brain to ramp up your body's natural production of testosterone. And it's not just the number of muscles, but it's how much stress you're putting on those muscles, right? So if you're really pushing yourself hard, you're getting close to failure at 10, 12, maybe 15 reps, all right, that really works fantastic. So some compound exercises you guys ought to think about are like squats, lunges, push-ups, rows, dumbbell rows, step-ups, lots of things like that. Bench press, that's a big chest exercise. Dips, that's using your triceps, your shoulders, and some of your lats. Anyway, lots of big compound movements will really help with your T-level production. All right, the second tip, by far the easiest, okay? Some of these things are more difficult than others. Number 2, try a supplement, okay? We have something that I'm very proud of, and the reason I'm proud of it is because of all the reviews we're getting. I want you to click on the link below this video, because I'm not going to sit here and try to read you all the ingredients. It's amazing how much we put in this thing. But the link below this video will take you to our website where we list every single ingredient and why we put it in there and what those ingredients do for you. So check that out. That will really help you kind of understand what's going on. This is a greens powder. I mean, you just mix it with water. It tastes great. It takes you, I don't know, 15 seconds to mix it and drink it. But the thing is, this helps flush excess estrogen for guys that are producing too much estrogen, helps flush it out of your body, which makes it easier for your body to produce testosterone. So it helps lower estrogen and raise your T levels at the same time. But when you're looking on our website and looking in the ingredients, keep scrolling down just a little further below the product information, and that's where all the customer reviews are. I mean, we have thousands of guys around the world taking this stuff, just loving it. And just, I'm serious, just check out the reviews, go buy that. And then also, the other reason it's so simple is we're the only company that will give you a 365-day guarantee, money-back guarantee. So if you don't like it, just let us know. You don't even have to ship the bottle back. Just send us an email. All right, tip number 3 might sound just as easy as number 2, but it's not. And that is sleep. Guys, you have to really try to prioritize your sleep. So why is that important? Well, did you know that the vast majority of your hormones, not just your testosterone, but all the other good hormones in our body that we need, are produced at night when you're sleeping? I didn't know that until a few years ago. So sleep is really critical. So if you're not getting good, restful, deep sleep, your body is not producing as much testosterone as it potentially could. It's just as simple as that. So figure out, you need 7-8 hours of sleep a night. There's some rare exceptions to the rule. Some men can get by on 4 or 5 hours and they're completely alert and awake and their bodies work fine. But that is rare. That's the 1 percentile, okay? I'm not in that group. I need probably 8+ hours. And then the other thing is, guys, just because you're in bed for 8 hours a night doesn't mean you're sleeping, right? I didn't know it, but I had undiagnosed sleep apnea for 2 years. I was waking up exhausted. I'm like, man, I was in bed for 8.5 hours. What the heck is going on? So I wasn't getting that sleep, and it was making me feel really tired and lethargic throughout the day. And of course, I'm sure my T levels had dropped. And you know, remember I mentioned, you know, earlier that your T levels are partially responsible for your energy. So anyway, guys, get to sleep, prioritize it. And if you're already doing that, but doesn't seem like it's working, check and do a sleep study. You might have sleep apnea just like I did. All right, and finally, tip number 4. We can't do it year round. I get it. It's weather related, but sunlight. It really helps me. We're just kind of getting out of winter here in Dallas, Texas. It's still February, end of February when I'm shooting this. So some days it's cold, but the last couple of days it's been in the 70s and sunny and been fantastic. Took my shirt off and took my dog to the park, and I ran a couple of miles in the sun. It felt so good. So sunlight's got vitamin D. You need vitamin D to produce testosterone. So if you're not getting enough, at least take a vitamin D supplement. But I think the sun is a much better source. Makes you feel good. And you know, I know at the beginning of the winter when it's kind of gloomy and a little cold and you're inside all the time, I feel kind of down, you know, not so much depressed, but just kind of lethargic. And in the spring, when it starts warming up and you all of a sudden have the sun, you know, and you're outside for the first time in a few months, man, I feel so much better. My workouts are better. I mean, literally the last few days, we've had beautiful weather here after some kind of rainy, cold weather for a few weeks. Man, I'm killing it in the gym. Way more energy. So get out and get you some sunlight. All right, guys, come on. 4 easy, straightforward tips on how to boost your testosterone after the age of 60. Screw it. This works for guys in their 40s and 50s too. And 80-year-olds. I promise all this stuff is pretty much age independent. All right. Some of them are a little harder than others. Some of them are super simple. Just taking, you know, a spoonful of greens powder with some water doesn't get any better than that. But guys, you got to be consistent about it. Otherwise, your T levels aren't going to stay up there. They're going to drop back down as soon as you kind of slack off, all right? So stay consistent and never give up on yourself.